Animals often evolve very swiftly on islands, cut off from their mainland relatives, and faced with the challenges of isolation. This is Wolf, an extinct volcano, and one of the most remote islands of the Galapagos, 800 miles from the nearest large landmass, and over 1 million years old. A finch. A female. Its ancestors doubtless were blown here by storms many centuries ago. Like most finches, they feed on seeds, nectar, and insects. But there's little food of any kind on Wolf. And since they aren't strong enough flyers to leave the island, they've had to find food from a very unusual source. They depend on another of the island's inhabitants. Nazca boobies. Every day, these seabirds commute between the island and their fishing grounds out in the open ocean. Each time a pair meet, they renew their bond, and then catch up with the neighbors. Now is the time to hop into action. Blood. They are vampire finches. These little birds have become one of the world's newest species. She cuts the quill of a large flight feather, and the blood flows. The sight of it attracts the attention of others. Blood is very nutritious, worth fighting for. So with this never-ending supply of food, the vampire finches can flourish on an island where otherwise they could not survive. Why the boobies don't object? Nobody knows. Perhaps the finches' behavior started when they helped the boobies to remove parasites from their plumage. Maybe the boobies think that the little vampires are still providing a service. Who can tell? Volcanic islands don't last forever. Changes deep in the Earth's crust bring their eruptions to an end, and the forces of erosion then begin to wear them down. But the coral around them continues to grow. Sea levels change, and eventually all that is left is a ring-shaped island of coral rock, surrounding a lagoon, an atoll. There are hundreds of atolls in tropical seas, all remnants of vanished volcanoes. This is one of the largest and most pristine, Aldabra, in the Indian Ocean. 20 million years ago, it was an island with a volcanic crater in its center. Now, it's an atoll. Mangroves took root, and seabirds came to nest. One land animal in particular reached here before man: a giant tortoise. These creatures can float and live without food or fresh water for long periods of time. This isolated atoll is the perfect refuge. Their only enemy is the sun. Without shade, a tortoise risks being boiled in his shell. So, after feeding in the cool of the morning, and before the sun becomes too crushingly hot, they have to find cover. All of them. There is very little vegetation, but caves in the coral rock can provide the shade they so badly need. But the future for Aldabra's tortoises is far from certain. The climate is changing, sea levels are rising, and Aldabra's tortoises may soon have to find a new refuge or drown.